Hi everyone, we're just going to wait a minute for more people to sign on and join us before we get started. So take a minute. The things that you're going to need for this are Lanyard, if you have Lanyard at home right now. Otherwise, you can watch this later, follow along to learn how to do some fun lanyard stitches. So we'll just give it another few minutes. Great, so we're gonna get started. My name is Gabi. I'm the assistant director at Camp Young Judea Midwest. I live in Chicago. And before we start, I just wanna thank CYJ Midwest and the rest of my team over at CYJ. So Robin Anderson, our director, Erin Levine, our the other assistant director, Kevin Fridas, who is our marketing and communications manager, who has set this all up, and Michael, who is our maintenance director up at camp. So we're gonna work on some lanyard today. We're gonna do 4 different stitches. I have some examples, and I will be showing you how to do them and how to get them started. So I decided to start with one that's a little bit easier. It's called zipper, and throughout the whole thing, feel free to ask any questions you have over in the comment section, and I will try to get to the questions if you have any. So the first stitch we're going to be doing, it's called zipper. This is what it looks like. So it actually looks like a zipper. It's pretty easy to start with. You're going to start with tying a knot at the top. And what you need is you're going to have 2 shorter pieces of lanyard. So that's my blue lanyard. They're a little bit shorter. And the red piece, which is the one I'm making the zipper with, is a little bit longer. I'm just going to move my light over so that hopefully maybe it'll help see a little bit better. So this is what it looks like. The way you're going to start is you tie a knot at the top, and you want to take your red piece. It doesn't really matter where it is between the 2 blue pieces. The idea of it is we're going to be weaving almost. So I'm going to put my computer screen down so you'll be able to see my face, but you'll be able to see my hands and the lanyard. So this is a better view a little bit of what it looks like. And you can see here's the knot at the top, and that is what it looks like. So the way we're going to do it, I'm going to try holding it towards you. This red piece, we have our 2 blue pieces. You want them laying out kind of parallel to each other. So they don't touch, they don't cross. And our red piece is just going to go around each of the blue pieces. So we're going to go around this blue piece is what we're doing first. This one right here. We're going to go over the first blue one. We're going to go under the second blue one. And now we've just made our way across. Now we're going to do the same thing again. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in the screen. We're going to go over the second blue one right here and under the other blue one. Something that I like to do when I do zipper is I like to keep it really tight so that it really does look like a closed zipper. If you have it a little bit looser, it kind of looks like a braid, like that. So you can kind of see that gives you a better idea also of what the stitch really looks like. But I personally like when it's tighter like that. So we're going to do it again. So now that our lanyard is back on the other side, right over here where we started, we're going to go over the first blue and under the second one, right? So we're basically going around each of the blue pieces. So rather than think of it as over and under, another way to think of it, if it's a little bit easier for you, is to go around the first piece and in between the 2 of them. So I went around and in between. Okay, and then I'm going to pull that a little bit tighter, like that. And then I'm going to go, the red piece is now like here, kind of in between the two blue pieces, and I'm going to take it and go around the other blue one. I'm just going to constantly switch the one that I'm going around. And I'm pretty picky when it comes to it. I like it when it's really close together. I like when they're like pretty small, and I like to keep my red piece totally flat throughout the process. So I don't like when the red piece twists and turns. I like keeping the red piece. I like keeping my red piece as flat as possible while I'm doing the lanyard. So that is zipper. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to write in the comments. I'm going to do a little bit more of it, and then we're going to move on to our next stitch. And I'll try to do it so you can see what I'm doing. This one's twisted a little bit, so I'm going to untwist it. There we go. Sorry, it's really hard to do this so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but maybe we'll try. Here. I'm going around and through and around. I'm also making sure to keep my blue pieces flat, and they don't need to ever cross. Like, you don't want them crossing, you don't want them, the blue pieces are really there to just hold the red piece as it goes around. And obviously I am using red and blue, but you can use whatever colors you want, whatever colors you have at home. One of my favorite things to do with zipper is to use like a clear one on top so that you can still see the colors underneath. And you can either do the same colors, the strings can be the same colors, the strings can be different colors, and as you advance, you can even do 3 strings. So you're weaving between the 3 strings, and that one's pretty cool too. And you can increase the number of strings that you're weaving between to make it even cooler. So that is zipper. Great. The next stitch that we're going to do, and if anyone wants me to go back to that one, please let me know. I'll show it again at the end. But for now, we're going to move on. So the next 2 stitches we're going to do, they start off the same way, are box and circle. So box really looks like a box. Here you can see all 4 sides. You can see my 2 white sides, and then I have like a turquoise and like a green blue lanyard on the other 2 sides. And you can see it's really square. That is box. And circle, it looks like this. This one's a little bit harder to see. You can see that it's a circle, and the difference, how all the white was together and like the blue and the green ones were together there, you can see that the pink, if you look at the pink, it's kind of going around in a circle here, in like a little spiral pattern. So this is called circle. So first I'm going to go over how to start them. That's the most challenging part for people. So I'm going to go over it now, and then we're going to go over it again after I show it to you, just because it may make more sense at that point. So what you need to do, either box or circle, is 2 pieces of lanyard. You want them to be fairly long, not super short. It's going to be harder when they're shorter. You also don't want them to be really long at this point if you're just beginning, because that will also make it harder. So mine, I'd say, are about, when I fold it in half, it's about 2 feet long, is the way that it looks. I'm using pink and blue so that hopefully you can kind of distinguish between the 2 colors. So the way that you're going to start them is just the way you're going to do a stitch. Now it's a little bit harder because you don't really have anything to hold onto. There's no foundation, and we're creating our foundation now. So the way you're going to start it, I'm going to move the screen down again. You want to put a cross. You want to cross the 2 colors. So do you see my blue and my pink are at a 90-degree angle. They're perpendicular to each other. They're at a 90-degree angle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold on right where they cross each other. I'm going to take whichever color's on the bottom. So for me, you can see where I'm holding the cross, the blue is on the bottom. So I'm going to take the blue first. There we go. I'm going to go over my thumb. I'm going to use my thumb to kind of create the direction. So I go over my thumb, just like that. So I have what looks like two bridges. You can see these two. Oh, there we go. Two bridges that are there. I'm going to take my pink and I'm going to go over one bridge and under the other, pull it through. And then the other pink, again, I'm going to go over one blue and under the other. Now, something that's really important, and this is going to be important while we're doing both our box and circle stitches, is that the lanyard, do you see how on this side, this is the open side, right? There's nothing, this is where the loop ends. My blue one, my bridge came across, and my bridge isn't being held down by anything on this side. So what's holding it down is when I cross the pink over, that one's going to be on top, and that's what's holding it down. So you want to make sure when you cross over, when you go over and under, you're going over on the side where it's open and under on the side. You can see here, this side is closed because that's the side I flipped over. So this is completely attached. Now we're just going to pull it tight. And there you have, we're going to pull it tight. And this is the beginning to your box and your circle. So you can see it kind of looks like, you can see it looks like a checkerboard almost, like a mini checkerboard. The other side is going to have, you know, I started with my blue on the bottom, so the bottom is going to have kind of that cross shape. So that's how you start it. Again, if you have questions, please ask, and I'll go back over how to start it once we do a few more. So this is, I'm going to use the box that I've already started. Once you start, you're going to do, you know, a few stitches. The more stitches you have, the easier it becomes because you have something to hold on to. So a box stitch, we're going to, again, do the same thing that we did to start it. So I'm going to use my white first. It doesn't, once you've started it, it doesn't matter what color you're using first. You can use either of the colors first. It really doesn't matter. So you're going to take, I'm going to use my white first though. So I'm going to make a bridge with the white, a bridge with the other white. And you can see that I'm holding them, I'm using what I have of the lanyard that's made already to hold the bridges down so that they stay in place. They're not too big, they're not too small. This here is my open side. When I bring the strings across, I want to keep them, since I'm doing box, I want to keep them on the same line. So I'm bringing it across to the white that's right across from it and bringing it across to the white that is right across from it. And that way I have two bridges, the bridges don't touch, the white strings don't touch, everything is kind of on its own. So then I'm going to take the turquoise, the blue and green one. Again, I'm going to go over the first one, which on this side, it's open on this side that's closer to me. So I'm going over and under. And just like the white ones, the green and blue ones should never cross each other. They should always stay parallel to each other. Then take the other one closer to the screen, closer to you guys, and I'm going to go over. You can see this is the one that's open here. So I go over that one and under the closed one, and I pull it through. And that is the box stitch. So I'm just going to do a few more. You can watch me do them. And then I will show you what the difference between box and circle is. And just a reminder, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment on the video. I see no questions so far. So if you do have, please let me know. And if I don't answer them, if you start doing this and have your own questions, feel free to let Jewish Camp at Home know, and I will come back and I'll watch the video and I'll see if any comments have been added, so that I know to answer any questions that are there. So just let me know if there's any help. So I'm going over and under, and then over and under. That is box. And you'll see that the more you do it, this time I'm starting with the green because I grabbed that one first. So as you see, it really doesn't matter. Over and under. And depending on the lanyard, there's some lanyards are a little bit harder, and some lanyards are a little bit softer, which makes a difference when you're tightening it. So again, I like to make the lanyard pretty tight. I'm going to show you how I like to tighten it. So I grab all 4 strings at the same time, and I kind of have like hold them all in the direction that they're going. I then pull all 4 like this. And then I like to pull, so like I'll just pull on the whites together and then just the greens together. And as I'm pulling, you'll see it gets like a little bit tighter. And I find that when I pull them separately, it can get it a little bit tighter. And then at the end, I give it like a nice little tug on all 4 of them. And again, this is something that as you do it more, you'll definitely find that it becomes easier. You'll find your own method of what works for you, because it's a little bit different for each person. The other thing is you want to make sure that your lanyard's not getting twisted. So sometimes when you're going over and under, the lanyard can twist itself like this. You can see the white is a little bit twisted, and that will lead to like some twisting in the thing, and you just want to make sure once you get it to this stage that there's no twists before you pull it tight. And if there is a twist, it's not a big deal. You can either take it out or just keep going. It's not really going to make a difference with your lanyard. So that is box. The next stitch we're going to do is circle. So circle is really similar to box. You can see the top of it. So we started the same exact way we started with box. It's the same start, and you can see that the bottom of it looks the same, and this side of it also looks the same. It looks like a checkerboard up here. Sorry, the silver is a little bit hard to see. The one thing that you're going to do differently between box and circle is you're going to go diagonal. So right now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go to the corner. Rather than go straight across, I go to the corner that's across from where that string is now. So my bridges, rather than they're still going straight across. They don't ever touch each other. They're parallel to each other. But rather than go to a side, they're going to the corner of the checkerboard on top. And then same thing with my pink ones. I now have my 2 bridges. I'm going over the first bridge, under the second. Want to make sure that it's not twisted. And then same thing on the other side, over and under. And then you're going to pull it in the same way that you pulled box to make it a little bit tighter. I'm going to start with my pink ones this time. You can see the top of it. Rather than come across, you can see this is my pink. Rather than come across there, I'm going to go to the corner and go to the corner. So again, making sure that they're not crossing each other. They shouldn't be crossing each other. They're 2 parallel bridges. And we're going to go over and under. Then we're going to go over and under. We're going to pull it tight. And that is circle. It comes out a little bit. You can see it's less boxy because it's not a box, it's a circle. I really like how they just kind of use the terms to describe what they look like. When you get more advanced, there's definitely ways to use more colors and make it more advanced. You can do ones that are one color where you still make two bridges with one color, and then you can have like 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors going across it. You can do a 2x2 square. When you do circle and it's bigger, some people like to call it tornado because it like kind of looks like a twister. It's pretty cool. We're going to stick to the beginner ones for now, just because those are a little bit easier, and the more you practice, the easier it will get. The last stitch that we're going to do, this is my favorite. Oh, it fell on the floor. It's called butterfly. So butterfly looks like this. See if it, oh, look better. Right there you go. You can see it now. That is butterfly. And it's called butterfly is because of the way that we do it. So I love butterfly. I think it's a little bit faster than the box and circle stitches, and a little bit easier. And I like that I don't have to spend as much time doing it, because sometimes I get a little bit bored of box or circle. So we're going to start, not everybody starts with a knot. I have found that that is the easiest way to start. So I already tied my knot. I'm using the blue and the gold here. So we're going to start. What you're going to do is you're just going to take one of the colors and make a loop. So I'm making a loop with my blue one. Then you're going to take the gold one. And for the first stitch, this is different than all of the other stitches we're going to do. You're going to hold it over your middle finger, your second finger, or whatever finger. And then you're going to twist it towards you. This is important. You want the string that's open, this part of the string, to be towards you and underneath the other part of the string. And you're going to stick it over the blue loop and then pull it tight, just like that. So I'm going to do that again for you to see. I'll do it the other way. So we're going to do the gold. We're going to make a loop with the gold and just hold it there. With the blue one, I put it over my finger, twist my finger towards me, and I'm going to keep twisting, put the loop over the gold one, and pull the part of this tight that's around the gold. That's how you start it. From this point out, this is why it's called a butterfly. So now I just use my blue to set it. I have a gold loop that's left. So I'm going to take the blue, make another loop, right? So now it looks like bunny ears or like butterfly wings, which is why it's called butterfly. And I'm going to stick it through the gold loop. And the gold string that's left here, I'm going to pull that one tight. Oops, it came out. I'm going to pull that tight around the blue. So now I have a blue loop. And now we're going to repeat what we did before. I'm going to take the gold loop, stick it through the blue loop, and pull the blue tight. I'm going to do a few more so that maybe you can see how it works without my fingers covering everything. So gold loop goes through the blue loop. Right now I have, you can see this is what it looks like in the middle. The gold loop is inside of the blue loop. Here's my blue string right here. I'm going to pull that down. As I pull the blue string down, the loop goes around the gold string. Now I have my gold loop and make a loop with the blue, stick it inside the gold loop. You can see how this is the end of the loop. It's inside, pull my gold loop on the string that's hanging down, pull it down. So that is butterfly. Again, with butterfly, I like to make it pretty tight. You don't have to make it tight. One thing, so part of how I do that is when I pull down, I really make sure that it's like secure around the other loop, and then I pull the bottom part of the loop. So here's the loop. This is the part, you can see if I follow the loop, the top part goes to the open string, the bottom part goes to what's already in the butterfly. And so I also pulled that a little bit to make it tighter. That's just my preference. You don't have to do that, but I think it looks a little cleaner, but that's, again, my preference. And so that is butterfly. Again, if you guys have any questions, please put them over in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you to everyone who is watching. Those are the lanyard stitches that I'm going to go over for today. I will go over, as I said, I'm going to go over how you start it again for box and circle, and how you do the start. Now that you've seen kind of what the stitch looks like and how you do the stitch, it's really just, you start it the same way that you do the stitch. So again, I'm going to line up my two colors, fold it in half. They don't have to be even, better if it is, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to put the blue one underneath again. So I have the blue one underneath in the cross. I'm going to hold it where the two lanyards cross over each other. And then I'm going to make two bridges. So I go over and over. And then I'm going to go over and under my bridge, making sure that I go over on the side that is open and under on the closed side, and that my two sides don't cross over each other. And over and under, and pull it tight. And that is how you start it. So the one side looks like a checkerboard, like you can see here, and the other side has the piece that goes under. The way you're going to keep going, you're going to keep going on the side that has checkerboard. So if you don't want to keep going on the other side, you're going to keep going on the side that has the checkerboard, continuing just like I was showing you earlier, with either box or circle, and you can switch off between the two of them. Feel free, do whatever you want, be creative. That's one of the best parts about Lanyard, is that you can really do what you want with it. That's all I've got for you today. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Post it when you're watching the video, so that I can come back and answer your questions. I want to thank CYJ Midwest again and Jewish Camp at Home in partnership with the Foundation for Jewish Camp, Young Judaism Chaverim online, and BBYO on demand. You can visit www.cyjmid.org/CYJ Home for virtual program replays, activities, and more. And later today at 4 p.m., back on this page, on the Jewish Camp at Home page, we're going to have Laura Braverman, who's one of our former staff members, doing origami. I used to decorate my office. I still have some stuff from her. She made like a bunch of little swans with some of my leftover Post-it notes. So I decorated my office with all of her little swans. So I definitely recommend checking Laura out and her origami. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and have an awesome week. Thanks. Bye.